Okay, I just wanted to show you guys what a wheelchair motorcycle look like. I'm a T2 paraplegic. I was paralyzed in an accident. I got cut off by a driver with no signal lights. And I had a Hayabusa at the time. And at my accident, like I said, it was T2, so that's about armpit level. I was paralyzed. After my accident, I bought a Can-Am Spider, one of those three-wheeled deals, and absolutely hated it. It was hard to ride. It was just exhausting for me hanging onto the handlebars all day. And I talked to a buddy about trying to make an accessible two-wheeled bike. So we first had to find a bike with a hollow axle. So in the Suzuki, they have a hollow rear axle that we ran a shaft through for our landing gear, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But it's also one of my favorite bikes and the favorite color, all blacked out. So I guess overall I had to lower the bike 2 inches. It's kind of up in the air right now just for stability, but it's lowered 2 inches. Inch in the front and 3 in the rear. It has a 1-inch riser up front. It's a Soupy's kit. Also, I had to do an electric shifter. So there's a Pingle electric shift kit on it. So you only have to use the clutch coming out of first gear. And everything else, it's just press your buttons up for upshift, down for downshift. And you have to hold it for 5 seconds to wake it up. And then it'll start shifting. You'll be able to use it. Also, we've got the camera up here, is my thumb brake. So this is for the rear brake. Yeah, that's the lever for that, and the reservoir is up there. Also, we have a RAM mount for my phone. I suggest anyone who does this gets a Sena Bluetooth to their helmet so they can call for help, not only listen to music, but you can call someone if something goes wrong. Have the double bubble windscreen on it for airflow. Also, I'll turn it on here and we'll show the lights. I put on LED signal lights. So the front is the same, but the rears are integrated. If you look at the rear, it's not all red, so it shows the amber flashing. It's all built in and looks really clean that way. Also, we put on a 905 racing cage on the side of it. Stunt bike guys use them. I put it on just in case anything ever happened. It has been on its side once very gently. I was on it. None of my legs got pinched, no leg got pinched, none of the bars hit, nothing. It fell over and it all landed on the cage, and it's all very solid. And also I did the tank bra with my tank bag on it. It's just full of towels right now. It's something I can just lay on and kind of rest my head on when we're going. It just takes the strain of holding yourself up. It's very comfortable. Also there's a speedo healer on it, so you can adjust your speed if you change your rear sprocket. If you go into the States, it has mile-an-hour mode on it too. Very handy. On the back of it right now is just the regular hump on it, but I do have a luggage rack that's modified to hold my wheelchair. So it hangs on the back here, bolts on right to where the bar is, and yeah, you can hang your chair on there. Yeah. Hi. Good, how are you? Oh yeah. Got distracted there. We also put a backup camera up front here, so I can physically You can physically see as you're riding the landing gear, if they're going up or down, or they make sure what they're doing. Also, these 3 buttons run your landing gear. So 1 is down, 2 is in the middle, and 3 is up. Turn my signal light off. But also, to run it, this piece here is off of a 2nd gen Hayabusa, and on those bikes there, you can adjust your power up or down. So we just took that controller off and put it on this bike, and literally up is up for landing gear, down is down for landing gear. All the way up, all the way down. There is a middle mode, so if you're cruising and you know you're going to come to a stop pretty soon, there's a midway point, and it's this pass button. On these, it's just it was factory meant just to flash your high beams, but we wired it so that it just goes to the midway point. It's just nice and close to the hands. It's really easy to use. Turn that off. We also did, there's a lot of electronics on it. We also did a battery disconnect on it, so that when you're parked, it's electric disconnect. So you just press lock and disconnects your battery. No one can steal it. You can't start it until it's hooked back up or connected again, and it keeps your battery from being drained down. Also have a trickle charger on it just to maintain your battery, to make sure it's all topped up and ready to go. Yeah, I run Motul oil in it. K&N oil filter, K&N air filter. And we'll talk about the landing gear here in a little bit. Oh, the seat belts. These belts are just off of my wheelchair, and they literally just slip on and off of these pegs here. I found when I was riding, my bum would vibrate a little bit, so if I have that on, suck it tight, I don't wiggle around. And also on each strap, there's a leg strap, just kind of keeps your legs from going anywhere. And you can see there's the floorboards too. There used to be those small pegs, but you have a solid place to put your feet so they don't go anywhere and they just flip up. And I still have all the stock parts to turn it back to factory if someone wants to change something. Oh yes, and the lowered kickstand. So whenever you lower the bike, you got to get a shorter kickstand. So it's all billet kickstand. It's adjustable too. It's all good to go. But yeah, if we go back to the landing gear, we'll talk about here for a minute. So what drives it is just a linear actuator at the bottom. So that's that guy there, linear actuator. And in behind this metal screen is the backup camera I talked about. So it's hidden from rocks. It's not going to get taken out at any point. And yeah, it's just a regular linear actuator. It operates. It's not wicked fast, but it's consistent, and you know it's coming down, and it's going to gently grab you and gently take off, which what you want. Yeah, I don't think you'd want anything to take off real fast. You might end up on your side. It took me about 45 minutes of riding around in a parking lot when I first got it, just to kind of get the balance figured out. I found the faster you go, the easier it is. So 50 is easy, 120 is really easy. And even with the wheelchair bolted on the back, when you're going through the air, it's cuts through it no problem. But back to the landing gear, it was built. It's designed to slide through the hollow axle, and this arm here is connected by a C-clip, a set screw, and a keyway. So there's 3 secure ways that it's locked on. It's not going anywhere at all. And we just used rollerblade wheels to balance the bike. And yeah, it works good. It could be perfected a little bit, but I haven't seen anything like it out there before. So I seen another guy on YouTube who made a kit, and there were bars connected to the hump, and when they lifted up, it looked like there's two ski poles hanging off the back of the bike. And this is connected to like the frame of the bike. It's totally solid. It's not gonna go anywhere on you. It was built with pride, and my buddy who built it, he's an awesome fabricator, and very grateful for his knowledge and his expertise. So yeah, I guess with it parked, I'll run the landing gear up and down, and you can see what it looks like. So I just press up, and it goes up. And down is down, and we have it just resting on these 2x4s just to get the back wheel off the ground. It's a great way to grease the chain, rotate the back tire like that. Great way to, you know, if you want to store it over winter, you just lift it up and go like that. But yeah, I'll fire it up and we'll show you the shifter. I guess I'll get to the other side of the bike here. Alright. So now with it running, we'll wake up the actuator. So you gotta hold it for 3-4 seconds and let off, and then you shift down to downshift, and away you go. I also forgot to mention, I have a gear indicator up top here, so you always know what gear you're in. So obviously first is first gear, and now it's rolling. It should read it. There. It's got to be rotating to read it. Second gear, obviously, but yeah. And neutral. It's just like that. So you get your shifter figured out, your thumb brake, the actuator, and you're good to go. So it just takes a little bit of practice. The landing gear aren't set real tight. If the bike's on the ground, it does wiggle back and forth a little bit, and that's just a little bit of give, just so it's not completely forcing you which way to go. You can kind of lean as they lift up, and once they're off the ground, it's just a normal feeling. It takes a little bit to get used to with them on the ground. You just drive real slow. You got to find a nice flat piece of ground to take off and set them back down at. That's what I found. All the roads are curved for drainage. So I always find if I go on the crest of the hill, it's the smoothest right there. It's really easy. I haven't had any problems with it, and yeah, I'm in T2. So it's an awesome bike, awesome machine. Very proud of it. I think it's time for me to move on though. I think I'm ready to hang up my helmet, and I really want this bike to go to someone else in my situation who doesn't want to hang up their helmet on someone else's terms. They want to hang up their helmet on their terms. And I've had it for 4 or 5 years, and I've had my enjoyment with it. But I'm ready to hang it up, I think. But there's no gremlins with it as far as I know. Yeah, it's a good machine, and I'll take a video here with me on it and just riding around, and go from there. Yeah, 11,000 kilometers is on it. Yeah, well, I think we got everything. Take a video of me on it. Thank you. Okay, just another quick video before I jump on this thing. I went home and grabbed the parts I was talking about. So that is a luggage rack that they make for these bikes, and they bolt right on, right on where the handle is. I like leaving it at home, get away from my chair from a bit, but yeah, these flip open and they bolt to the frame of the wheelchair, and then just a wing nut to tighten them down. And it's speed rated. I'm not going to say to what speed, but it hangs on there pretty good. Other thing I brought from home that I forgot was this bar we made. I wanted something that I could grab that was going to be real strong, and it just slides into the crash frame here. You just slide it in. It's pretty stable. It's just something solid to grab. And also, one thing I wanted to show that I'm going to keep, but I suggest someone getting if they can't feel their lower half and what their ass is doing, is to get an air hawk. They're actually made by Roho, which makes all the wheelchair cushions, but it's the same. It's just air-filled pockets, and there's straps that go under the seat and anchor you down. And I think I forgot to mention earlier that the year of the bike, it's an 07 limited edition, so black frame, and I had the pegs all powder coated black to match the bike. Just kind of black it out, and yeah, just to mention that, you can buy landing gear kits for Gold Wings. You can buy them for Harleys. And there's nothing really out yet for sport bikes. And if you're kind of a die-hard sport bike guy like me, I couldn't give in to ride a Harley or a Wing, so I just had to go back with my sport bike. And if there's a will, there's a way. But yeah, hopefully there'll be something out one day. Yeah, maybe it might even be a better version of this or something like that. But this is what I use, and it works pretty good. So yeah, the next video I'll take is me just kind of ripping around in the parking lot and just talking about how I'm doing this and shaking some rust off myself. I haven't been on the bike here in a little while, so you can get to ride along with me. Alright. Got transferred onto the bike now. For my transfers, I do a lot of it myself. My dad kind of just guides my leg over, and then he helps strap my legs in. It's a lot easier if there's a two-man project with it, and I'm very grateful for all his help and all my friends' help with getting me this far, for sure. And yeah, and my mom, I'm sure she's pretty glad I might be selling this thing. So yeah, we'll fire it up. I don't know if you can see the camera, landing gear down, my van in the background. Oh, and choose a neutral, make sure of that. And I didn't bring my phone. I'm just going around the parking lot. Otherwise, yes, you definitely should have that. So we'll activate the shifter, the pingle, hold it down for a few seconds. And it can be either button, just wakes it up. And when I take off, I'm going to want to find just some straight ground where it's not kind of curved for the drainage. I'm just going to head that way. You can do it the other way, it's just a lot more gentler this way. So in gear now. Turn. And get her going straight. And then I'll press the pass button. There, and I can feel the second it's off the ground, and it feels way more secure. And I'll press the up button, and now it's all the way up. And there may be people saying, well, isn't that going to lean when you go in corners? And not that I could ride to my old capability, but I've never drug it or even seen it get close to dragging the landing gear around a corner. You can see just putting around in first gear, no clutch, second gear, no clutch, third, and just like that all the way up to 6. And same with downshifting. I wish I had this thing when I was drag racing my old bike back in the day. It shifts quicker than I ever could, that's for sure. And then, yeah, just putt around. Nothing to it. So it's been a while since I rode this thing, and it feels just like I was on it yesterday, really. Intersections are one area you want to be pretty careful in. You want to time it right. When you're coming up, you want to have the landing gear kind of at that midway point, not all the way up. It takes a few seconds from it going all the way up to all the way down. So if I'm coming up to something, well, I guess I try to avoid town. This bike isn't meant to rip around town and go get groceries and stuff like that. It's meant to go out, get on the highway, just go disappear for a while, clear your head. You can leave your wheelchair at home or bring it with you if you have some buddies to help you out. But yeah, it's just so awesome just to cruise on the highway again and just lean through corners. Something that Can-Am Spyder never did. I might as well bought a convertible if I was going to buy a Can-Am Spyder, because it was just the same feeling. It's a car. That's what it really felt like. But it was a baby step for me. It made me realize I really missed 2 wheels. And I wanted to do it, and I did it, and now it's time for someone else to do it. So yeah, when you come into a stop, I'm going to try to line it up again so that I'm running flat here. It's going to land on an even surface. Clutch in and then down, and you can see I'm going down. And you can feel the second it touches. It's an awkward feeling for a biker to feel, something just come out and grab you, but it grabs you and it's secure. And you can cruise with these down. I wouldn't take it out of first gear, that's for sure, but you can rock back and forth on the landing gear. That's why it was designed to have a little bit of play in it, so you could tip from side to side a little bit. And it's all made out of hardened steel. That's the friend who made it. He's very meticulous and a fantastic fabricator. And he did a fantastic job on it. And all the parts, the actuators are all replaceable. You can get those anywhere. So landing gear's still down. I'm just putting around with them. And then it looks pretty flat and even here, so get a little bit of speed going. Press my pass button. My panel says it's on number 2, and I've seen it go up, and so it's halfway up now. And then press up, and it shows number 3 is lit up, and I can see it all the way up again. Pretty easy peasy. And it attracts some interest, so you can see some people coming over checking out how I do this. So pretty easy, not too much I can explain. The thumb brake, it's weak. You do most of your braking with your front brake, obviously. But it's there. If you're going into a corner, you just want to slow down a bit, just tap that rear brake with your thumb. But yeah, you do most of it with your front. You get more force out of it, stop quicker, straighter. But yeah, the rest of it is pretty self-explanatory. It's been a while since I rode, and it's easy. Easy peasy. I think I'll do one more lap here and head back. And obviously, if we do find a buyer who is in a wheelchair going to be using this, will not be held liable if anything happens. Just have to obviously explain that. I'm sure it's self-explanatory, but we won't be held liable. I'll help you answer any questions I can if anything goes wrong, but you know, fingers crossed. Hopefully it doesn't, and you just go out and blast like I got to do. So yeah, coming to a stop. Bring the actuator down a bit. Oh, okay. I don't know who's in my van, but I'll do another lap. So yeah, bring him to number 2. We'll bring it up to 3. Oh, that was Dad. Sorry, Dad, I thought you were a stranger in my van. Okay, we'll bring it back down to 2. And thank you, Dad, for making my video. I don't know how to edit anything, so thank you. Hugs, kisses, all that. And bring it down to number 3. Or number 1, sorry. And it's on the ground. Said it's awkward feeling, but it's secure. Alright. And with the pingle shifter, it is a little hard to get it into neutral, but you find it. Yeah, that was a quick ride. Thank you.